Happy Wednesday. I am Michelle Quay. Those of you who are new to me, welcome to Live Coffee Talk. This is a show I live stream every Wednesday at 11 o'clock Pacific time. And if you are new to me, welcome. I am a visibility coach, author, motivational speaker, and I do have a degree in pharmacy. And I am the founder of Elevate Life Coaching. And those of you who are inside my group and you're watching this live, be sure to drop me let's see, what color do I feel like today? Today, let's go with purple heart. If you are inside my group and you're watching this live, please drop me a purple heart and be sure if you're planning to comment on it, which I hope that you do, you will give access to StreamYard. So you will see up in the caption here that StreamYard needs your permission to show off your name. And this is a visibility lounge. So that's get yourself visible by just clicking that link and give StreamYard your permission to show off your name. And when I do the call out, this way you'll be visible for everybody. Now, go ahead and do me a favor and type live if you're watching this live, or give me a hashtag replay if you are watching this as a replay. Now, I don't know about you, but I was just talking to my guest, Amanda, this morning, that the weather has been kind of crazy. But if you notice on your calendar, the Eastern Sunday is coming up this weekend. Now, those of you who don't practice, you might be thinking, well, what does Easter bunny has to do with the eggs? I mean, bunny doesn't lay eggs, so what's up with bunny hiding the eggs? So if you know the answer, I would love to hear from you. And if you can drop that in a comment with me and let me know, where did that all come from? The Easter bunny and eggs. Like, who the hell think of that? Now, don't give me Wikipedia answer because I know the Wikipedia version of this. Now, joining me today is someone that I have connected earlier in the year. I believe it's actually last year. And I love and adore Amanda because I follow her. So first of all, I follow her on social media. And I love the fact that she incorporated visual into her visibility media strategy. And let's face it, there's been a lot of changes on social media lately. And I truly believe that in order to get your business visible, you need to incorporate a number of different strategies to capture the heart of your audience. So here's Amanda. Amanda Goff is the owner and head visual ninja with Silver Key Media. She specializes in helping business owners unstuck their brand story and tell the story visually through images and video. Amanda brings to the table her experience as an actor, director, filmmaker, designer, and 13 years in marketing. Amanda strongly believes in the power of collaboration to make things happen and bring to the table her experience. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this on LinkedIn, gentlemen, please join me with a warm welcome, my guest, Amanda.
Hello.
Hi, Amanda.
Hello. How are you?
For you to be here.
Yes, thank you. That was a lovely welcome and introduction. I'm so excited to be here.
I've been following you on social media, and when I first connected with you, I remember going onto your website, which is silverkeymedia.com. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that there's a lot of picture, and I believe that picture says 1,000 words. Like, there's a lot of us who's out there, we're really looking for the picture. It's easy, it's fast. And if your picture can capture my heart, I have more interest in wanting to read up more about it. So I would love to hear, how did you get into the industry?
Yeah, so really, I have had a camera in my hand since I was fairly small. I grew up as really blessed that my parents were really supportive of the creative arts. I was a dancer and I was in theater as well. So kind of visual storytelling has always been kind of part of my life. But I loved photography because, capturing that moment in time and, that love of photography when I was in middle school and high school led to videography and filmmaking. So my friends and I would just make strange short film things and, do strange and fun photo sessions. And I went to school. I actually got a degree in broadcast communications and theater. And in that, I got exposed to kind of the journalistic and marketing side of the whole industry. And I graduated. We actually moved. We were in Denver at the time. We moved. We were originally from the Pacific Northwest, so we moved back out to the Pacific Northwest, and we're in Vancouver, Washington, so just above Portland, Oregon. And I didn't have any connections in the film industry or the TV industry, so I went to work in marketing and I've worked for several small businesses across the board in different industries. So everywhere from real estate, concert promotion. I worked for a medical company that did whole body donation. That's a whole interesting topic in itself. And I always was bringing that visual storytelling and kind of got a chance to grow up with social media, because social media was a baby when I first started, and it's grown fast, so it's really grown in the last 15, 20 years. And that visual storytelling has been an asset. So it's kind of taking both loves of my world and being able to blend them together has been really cool.
It sounds like marketing is something that you just stumble upon right by accident. So I'm curious though, because the visual storytelling, it came up a couple of times. What is the visual storytelling?
Yeah. So how I define visual storytelling, and it's one of the things actually I work with my clients on, is everyone has a story. There's a story to your business. There's a story to a product or a campaign. There's a story and a message. And so, of course, we can write that down and we can refine that. But however, there is a visual representation. You can translate that visually, and it actually captures people's attention so much more quickly. Then they'll stop and actually read. And we're in that churn at this point where that's what's going to capture people's attention, is that image, that video, those graphics. Then they stop and pay attention. And so visual storytelling is a way of taking that message and you say, how can I best represent the color, the text, that if you're using like a graphic with, a small amount of text, what can I do in the video that would, embody or represent the message? And so to me, that's what visual storytelling really is. And there's a lot of psychology behind it in some ways, but really it's just figuring out the authentic way to capture that message and that story.
Yeah, I truly believe that a picture says 1,000 words, and I think my one of my hidden talent that I didn't realize I had walking into the coaching industry is that I had background in art. I know how to paint. I know how to photography. So I brought all of that, the skills I have learned in the past into this industry without knowing that this would be a crucial skills to have, or good hard skills to have. So let's talk about a little bit about the trend that's happening right now, because I'm paying attention to what's going on social media, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, right, Instagram Reels, and all these video type of platform as the social media platform going into using more of the video format.
Yeah.
How do you suppose that someone who's brand new to the industry might be able to use the basic skill that they have already and like really get their visibility going?
Absolutely. And that's a great question, because a lot of people, they fear video. That's the first thing. They're like, I don't know how to do it, or I don't want to do it. And while I understand it is a mindset thing, and I often tell people, I'm like, get over it. You've got to do it. However, for someone who's just starting out and maybe isn't want to step in front of the camera directly just yet, or they don't want to do a live, there are several ways that you can utilize your phone, because they have amazing cameras in them now, that you can utilize that and capture video of your day, capture video of a product, or maybe your process. And you don't even really have to, you don't have to speak. So that's where I tell people to start first, is something like that. You can, most smartphones have a time lapse or a hyperlapse. So if you have something that's a process, yes, you might have to invest in a phone holder and a tripod because you need to set that up, and some good lighting. It's not that expensive anymore, thank goodness. Or just use natural light and, show that process. And you would be really surprised how fascinated your audience is by that process. You think it's boring or it's just basic, but it's behind the scenes. Like, for example, I have a friend who owns a costume shop here in my town, and she changes her window out every month, or sometimes twice a month, depending on the holidays and such. So I said, oh my gosh, you're missing out. I said, I gave her, I was like, lent her stuff. I'm like, capture this and see what happens. And so she set it up, and she had so many hits and comments on just a background, behind the scenes time lapse of her changing out her window, because people are like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. That's so interesting. So that's one way. And another way is if you have a program like Canva or something like that, that's another way you can create small videos and edit within a fairly easy, user-friendly program to create something that you can add a little music to, whether you've recorded the video of you just chatting a little bit or giving a message. And then, of course, ultimately going live. It does feed the algorithm. Live is something that helps feed the algorithm, whether it's live on Facebook, live on YouTube, whatever it is, it's going to feed the algorithm, and it's going to bring you more visibility because you're giving the platform what it wants.
Yeah. You're using a lot of feature that's already implemented and designed.
Yeah.
And each platform, they want you to create content on their platform so they can retain all these visitors and traffic onto their platform.
Yep. You're helping them, they help you.
Yes. So work with the algorithm, not against it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love everything that you have just shared, because it would never occur to me. One of the things that I've noticed for myself is a lot of time I would take a video of my cat, Toby. And I often joke about this because my cat, Toby, gets more like and comment than I do. And I felt pretty hurt by that. Like, my cat gets more comment than like.
That's okay. Leverage that. It's with like little kids and animals, people love it. So, have a mascot. If you've got, a furry coworker in your home office, leverage that because people love it.
Yeah, I think what we all appreciate as general public is that I love to watch video where someone is just being raw and authentic. They don't have a whole lot of things going on. There's no pretty embellishment. I just want to hear and watch that person. I can spend hours in watching a behind the scene versus someone who has like the whole program developed and well written and well produced, ready to go. Because it really makes you stand out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that brings up a really good point, is that so many people stress out, oh, it's live, I'm going to make a mistake. Or even if you're recording a video for, you don't want to go live, that's fine. You can pre-record it and utilize it. And they just feel so frustrated or worried, it's going to, they flub. Well, you know what? Perfect is not what people want. And done is better than perfect. And I challenge you, while I don't watch a lot of TV, but every once in a while I'll tune into like the local news, watch a newscast. They make mistakes. They have to correct themselves. They misstep a word. They're not perfect in their delivery, and they're being paid big money to be broadcasting the news. So if they can have some wiggle room, so can we. And people want to see that you're human and they want to relate to you. So if you get over that perfection, level of perfection, really it comes down to, especially with video, being seen. So making sure you have some light, you're not in the dark or it's, all shadowy, and that you're heard. The other thing I always just tell people is, investing in either a webcam that's good quality so that you can have it on, set up, or a phone stand and a tripod, or phone holder and a tripod so you can talk. I talk with my hands, so I do not do well with holding the camera. It'd make people nauseous, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah, it's one of the things I would just totally skip. If it's too rocking or too shaky, I would much rather skip the video than just sitting down and really spend my time watching it and listening and learning it.
Yes.
I think as now we're talking about, like video, what is like the best visual format that we can use in our marketing strategy?
To be honest, yes, video is top just because it is so engaging. But to start, when you're starting out, the best visual to use to market your business and to get visible is the one you will do consistently. Because if you are too afraid, or you're getting used to something and you are not doing it consistently, that will actually hurt you more than, putting out something that, you deem imperfect. So I always tell my clients, and I tell those that I, talk with either in workshops, that, creating a plan for visibility is the start. What will you consistently do? And I actually have people, you can do it on a piece of paper or a Word document or something, and you create 3 columns and you go, okay, what do I love to do? What am I, likely you're already doing those things. Mm-hmm. What do I know I should do? I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to get used to. And then what am I never going to do? The never going to do, you kind of have to assess, because often people say video. So I would say, move that to the I know I should do. But some things you can leverage out for visibility, mm-hmm. like emails or, blogging, those are things of visibility. Even though they're written to a degree, you can have visuals in them, put those away. And then look at what you love to do and put it in your calendar, do it consistently. Take a picture behind the scenes twice a week and make sure you're posting it on your platforms. Or go live once a week in your group. Whatever that is and is going to get you the most visibility is going to be what you can do consistently. And start small. You don't have to do it all like this week. Like, have a plan and say, okay, in 3 months, I'm going to add this. And in 6 months, I'm going to add this. visibility marketing is not a quick fix. It's not a big pill that's just going to solve everything. It takes time. It takes consistency. And it takes just being willing to show up and be there in your business.
I completely agree. And I get, as you're talking about it, I keep hearing some of my clients, I don't want to do video. I don't know how to do video. Video is not my thing. I don't want to be on camera. I don't know how to speak.
Right? No.
No. And then, you know, I have those clients who come around and say, well, I love how you're being everywhere. And right. So that's also not a great strategy when you're first starting out. You don't want to be everywhere, because then just imagine the amount of content and work that you have to put in to be everywhere. So
Well, and I think too, people don't realize that a lot of people who are everywhere, often they're starting, sometimes they're doing all the things. But the people who are working smarter, not harder, you know, like with this podcast, Michelle, you are live in your group, but you're going to put it other places. It's not just the one place. And that's working smart, because that's a piece of content that someone's going to see maybe on LinkedIn that wouldn't see it on Facebook, or someone will see it on YouTube or wherever it gets posted next. And so you're repurposing and taking that one piece you've put time and effort into and putting it other places and sharing it. And then people think you're everywhere, but you're not.
It's really deceiving, but I love the technology nowadays, right? Because it allows us to use the technology to be able to stream and show up in different places. I'm still sitting here, but I can be showing up in 3 different places. So I love the fact that we're using technology for us, and rather than using it against us.
Yes, absolutely.
Amanda, how do you work with a client? Like, walk me through your process of working with clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have 2 ways that I'm working with clients at this point, with brand foundation and brand strategy. And that is either one-to-one. I have a handful of clients that are, and the length of time kind of depends on what they're needing at the time. If it's kind of getting their strategy in place and their story down on paper so that it's, you know, in one place, that doesn't take all that long. And if it's more of consistently trying to get more that accountability piece, that could be a little bit longer. And then I also have, right now I'm wrapping up a group mastermind program. And that's going to wrap up in June, and I'll be relaunching that. I've decided in August, because I don't want to try and be in summer at all, to the most part. So at the end of August, I'll be relaunching that mastermind again. And that's just a way to not only utilize the video courses that I have, but also work collaboratively. I love group masterminds. I love the group dynamic, because I feel like there is so much that everyone can help each other with, that ideas and that conversation that happens. So those are kind of the 2 ways that I'm really working with clients right now.
And you have all the information on your website, correct?
I do. My website is being moved to a different platform. So if you are watching this and you're not finding that, please feel free. You can email me at amanda@silverkeysmedia.com, but it should be on my website. So
I will make sure to include your email, just in case, you know, someone needs to looking for that information. They have much more easier way to reach out to you. Yeah. And they can also find you on social media, right? Obviously, you're on all the social media.
Yeah. I primarily hang out in Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And I have a private group. It's free. It's just private to keep the riffraff out. At the if you just look and search for @Visual Vibe Society, you can find me there as well. And I am branching a little bit into TikTok, but we'll see.
So
That's just more a fun experiment.
So speaking of all these videos that we're gonna be making, like what are some of your awesome secret sauce that you might be able to share with us?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, it doesn't matter. Excuse me. It doesn't matter where in your house, just finding a space that you can set up is ideal because you'll feel comfortable. So now I am lucky I have an office. Previously, as of like beginning of last year, my office was out in our living room area. And so I had to find little spots in my house I could shut the door and be quiet and just have that concentration space. And then again, invest in either a good webcam or invest in a tripod, stand for your phone, so that you can feel confident in the setup and play around with it. It's not going to be perfect right away, so do some tests, play around, see what it looks like. Phones are great because the cameras for the most part are pretty good. They're pretty rock solid, and you can actually distribute it pretty quickly from your phone now to most platforms. So it's not like if it's just a quick message and you're not, needing to do any editing, which I would tell you not to do a lot of editing with most of your content. Be real and don't be perfect. Be yourself. Be authentic. If you flub, it's okay. The one big thing I will say though, however, is if you are going live once a week, have a plan. Know what you're going to talk about. It doesn't have to be a script. It shouldn't be, but just know, because really in here and in here, what to say. It's there to share it like you would to a friend, to your ideal client that's out there that's watching.
Or have a live podcast like I do, and I don't do editing because I call this lazy way of content marketing because I don't want to go through the editing portion of it. So that's just make it easy for myself and for you as well. That's just do it live.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things that, yeah, and not editing is better because again, it leverages just the humanity. It shows that you're a person and that people want that. They want to connect to people.
We have Helen in the group, and it's not showing up as her name. But again, because you have to give StreamYard the permission to show off your name. And Helen said that I love being imperfect now.
Yes, absolutely. And I will say one of the few perks of going into shutdown, of going into having a big pause in this world, and while things were crazy and really difficult in many ways, we were forced to be we were forced to be imperfect. We were forced to be ourselves in our space. Yeah. And that was good.
And so, Amanda, before I let you go, I know you brought some really cool gifts for our audience. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do have, and I know Michelle's going to be sharing a link to a workbook, and that is how to find your awesome sauce, embracing your awesome sauce. And what that really boils down to is in your brand and your business, everything that makes up who you are and your story is your magic sauce. It's your awesome sauce. And so this is an exercise that will help you walk through the process of just looking at that and reframing. Often we get nervous, or we think our story isn't valuable, and it's all valuable. It's all part of who we are. And so that's what this workbook is all about. And so that's the first thing. And then to all of the viewers out there, I just want to offer as well a 30-minute consultation that's for free. So if you want to connect with me, I know Michelle's going to put my contact information. Just mention you saw me on this podcast and we'll set up a consultation, and I'd be happy to just hear about what you do, as well as help you with a sticking point that you might have in your visibility plan, or in figuring out a process that will help just leverage you further in your brand and your business.
And I love the fact that we're using something that's easy, something that we can take out our phone and just record a short videos, or something, a saying, or just a clip. And we can do so many powerful things around it to repurpose it, to really increase and build our visibility without spending hours trying to write the long copies of it.
Yes. No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's too much.
I do it because I love it. I enjoy doing it, but I also do a lot of live videos, short videos. So if you don't enjoy sitting down and pulling your hair out, or trying to figure out what to write, maybe video is just the answer to go.
Yes, absolutely. And, to be honest, it's a really easy way it's like picking up the phone. If you've ever been texting someone, sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to pick the phone up because it's easier just to dialogue. Video is the same way. You can get a message across so quickly in a video. And if you start viewing it as a way to deliver your tools, to deliver what you want to have impact on, that's going to help, I think, reframe here as well, that it's a tool to reach more people.
Yeah. So say yes to the video.
Right? Say yes.
Say yes. And thank you so much, Amanda, for coming to the show. I really appreciate you, your wisdom, and all your great tips on how to use the visual aspects to really increase our visibility and drive it home.
Absolutely. I really appreciate the time and the honor of being a guest on your podcast.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, everyone. Hopefully you have better, stronger, courageous soul after watching our show today, to get out there and start thinking about, if it's not live videos, at least do some short videos so that you can share on your social media to build on that visibility. I hope this episode had brought you some new insights, and hopefully it makes you realize that there's something that's out there that's possible without you sitting down and creating all these long copies and written copies and maybe get one single like. So again, I'm Michelle Quay. I'm a visibility confidence coach, and you are watching the Like Coffee Talk, where I bring guests to come and talk to you about business and mindset. And I will see you back again at the show next week at 11 o'clock Pacific time, right here, right now.